Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Game Discussion. For today, it's going to be a bit of a discussion indeed. It's going to be about how the gaming industry as a whole seems to be rather untrustworthy these days. And I do seriously mean that, hear me out. I've began to notice an alarming trend in gaming that I'd really like to comment on. If you've noticed, as of late, a lot of games are just marketed as the greatest thing since buttered toast, and they end up failing miserably. We've had The Last of Us 2, Cyberpunk, Fallout 76, etc., etc. Now, what do all these games have in common? Well, they had a spectacular marketing campaign, and the trailers could show you things that would just take your breath away. And then the actual game comes out, and it's not nearly all it's cracked up to be. Now, I just want to say that I am not saying that anyone who plays these games can't have fun with them, but I don't think it's arguable that they definitely missed the mark that they appear to be aiming for. You see, it seems that the marketing in gaming these days, is something that is just downright misleading at times, compared to what actually gets released. And I'd also like to clarify that I do understand that a company does need to market their product to get exposure, and sometimes what they market, especially in the gaming scene, is usually an early access and whatnot. But then the question becomes, should they be allowed to market something that's early access when that thing is apt to change, or should they just market the more polished version of the game? Personally, I prefer that companies would just speak more about what they're doing and just work more in private about what it is, and then market, so that they have a good foundation on what they want before showing anything off. That way things aren't apt to change. In all honesty, the way that some of these games are released, it genuinely seems like the marketing got 80% of the budget, and the game actually got, 20%, if even that sometimes. For me, it's gotten so bad to the extent that when it comes to gaming, when I see a new trailer, I'm just like, man, this looks awesome. Now I wonder how different this is going to be from the actual game, you know what I mean? I truly wish we could just see a trailer and know that a company would do the very best that they possibly could to make sure that that game was as close as possible to what they are promising in that trailer. But alas, that is not the world that we live in. So, I speak to you about a very important thing that you guys need to make sure that you're doing. Look at trailers only to find a new game that you may be interested in, but please do not think for a moment that you should spend money right away based on what that trailer is showing you. I have seen so many instances where someone just looked at one trailer and then just pre-ordered the game right then and there. They had no experience with the released product, yet they had already spent their money based on what is pretty much just a movie sometimes. It doesn't even show gameplay, it just shows just a bit of the graphics, etc. It just seems more like a little movie put together. Now all of a sudden this person receives the actual game and it's pretty much unplayable at times, and this person is $60 more poor. Or poorer, I don't know which was the right terminology, but moving on. We need to watch with our eyes and then decide with our wallet. You understand? That's the only way that this is going to change. We have to stop letting companies pull the wool over our eyes when it comes to this. I'd personally recommend waiting for the full product. It's just like with Cyberpunk, for example, let me just speak a little bit about that. I didn't really watch a single trailer about Cyberpunk, truth be told. I wasn't really interested in the game at all, I'm sorry, Keanu. But when I saw the final product, all I could say was,
I don't recognize you. Just passing through.
the amount of people that got baited hook, line, and sinker are not too happy with that game right now. So, just to summarize this to some sorts, I'd honestly recommend that you just look at the final product before you come to a conclusion. Though, to give some degree of credit to these developers and whatnot, sometimes even when a game is released in a very bad state, they can improve them over time, but then another issue comes into play. Is this fix going to be free or no? Because if not, are you really going to trust the company that just played you like a fiddle with more money in the hopes that they would actually fix their game? I highly recommend just, again, waiting for the final product, and trust the gameplay, don't trust reviews, because some people are paid to just say good things about a product. But the gameplay does not lie, so you make your choice with that. Well, that's going to conclude this little discussion on games being untrustworthy. And hey, it is a discussion, so I'd really like to hear your feedback on the matter in the comments. And as always, rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you would like to see in the future in the comments below. Feel free to check out my amino linked in the comments, as well as my BitChute linked in the About Me page of my channel. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you're interested. God bless, and I'll see you next time.